Ambassador Kelrix of the Velocian Empire stood before the Galactic Council, his crystalline exoskeleton gleaming under the chamber's artificial suns. In his manipulator appendages, he held what appeared to be an ancient human data crystal. "Esteemed members," Kelrix announced, his voice translator rendering his clicks into perfect galactic standard, "we have uncovered the truth about humanity's so-called peaceful integration into our empire. These primitives were not uplifted. They were conquered, subdued, and civilized by Velocian might 3 centuries ago." The council chamber erupted in murmurs. Earth's representative, a middle-aged woman named Dr. Sarah Chen, remained seated, her expression unreadable. Kelrix continued, projecting holographic images across the chamber. "Our archaeologists have recovered these records from old Earth itself. The humans were a violent, self-destructive species. We saved them from themselves. Their current prosperity exists only because we erased their barbaric past and gave them purpose within our empire." The holograms showed burning cities, mushroom clouds, and warfare. To the council members who had never visited Earth, it seemed damning. "Therefore," Kelrix declared triumphantly, "humanity owes the Empire not partnership but subservience. We move to reclassify their status from allied species to protected subjects." Dr. Chen finally rose. She was small compared to most species in the chamber, but something in her movement commanded attention. She walked to the center podium with deliberate steps. "Ambassador Kelrix," she began, her voice calm, "you're absolutely right about one thing. Humanity was violent. We fought terrible wars. We nearly destroyed ourselves." She paused, letting the admission hang in the air. "But you're wrong about everything else." She activated her own holographic display. "The Velocians didn't conquer Earth. They couldn't have." "Do you know why?" Chen's eyes swept across the council. "Because when your ancestors arrived at Earth in 2287, humanity had already been spacefaring for 82 years. New images materialized, human colonies on Mars, asteroid mining facilities, generation ships departing Sol system." Kelrix's translator sputtered. "Impossible. Our records clearly show—" "Your records show propaganda," Chen interrupted. 300 years ago, the Velocian Empire was desperate. You were losing a war against the Kresh Dominion. You needed soldiers, engineers, and shipbuilders. You needed humans. She pulled up historical documents, each verified by quantum authentication seals impossible to forge. The treaty wasn't surrender. It was an alliance. Humanity provided the Empire with our manufacturing capacity and our military volunteers. In exchange, you provided faster-than-light technology and access to galactic trade routes. The council chamber fell silent as the documents were distributed to each member's console. "But here's what really happened," Chen continued, her voice hardening. 50 years ago, a faction within the Velocian government began the Revision Project. They systematically altered historical records, destroyed archives, and rewrote textbooks. They wanted the galaxy to forget that humanity had saved the Empire. They wanted to transform us from partners into subjects. Kelrix's exoskeleton had lost its luster. "These accusations are documented," Chen said flatly. "By your own people. There's a reason this session was called, Ambassador. 3 months ago, a Velocian historian named Trevik contacted my office. He spent 20 years uncovering the truth, and it cost him everything. He died before he could present his findings, but he made sure humanity received them." She projected the final piece of evidence. A confession from a deceased Velocian official, detailing the entire conspiracy. "The Empire tried to rewrite human history," Chen said, her words echoing through the chamber. "They tried to make us forget who we were. They tried to steal our past so they could control our future." She leaned forward. "They failed." The Galactic Council erupted in debate. Several ambassadors were already demanding investigations. Others called for sanctions against the Velocian government. Chen waited for the noise to subside before speaking again. "But here's what humanity learned from this attempt. We learned that history is not just the past, it's power. Control someone's history and you control their identity. Erase their story and you erase their autonomy." She looked directly at Kelrix. "So we're not going to let anyone rewrite history ever again. Not ours, not anyone's. Humanity is founding the Galactic Archives Initiative. We're going to create distributed, quantum-encrypted records of every species' history, protected by blockchain technology and redundant storage across 1,000 worlds. No single government, no empire, no faction will ever be able to alter the historical record again." Several council members immediately voiced support. The Mantari delegates stood, their bioluminescent patterns flashing approval. The Mantari Collective pledges resources to this initiative. As does the Crystalline Chorus, added another voice. Within minutes, 15 species had committed to the project. Kelrix tried one final time. This is a human power grab. No, Chen said simply. This is humanity ensuring that what happened to us never happens to anyone else. You tried to make us forget that we saved your empire. Instead, you've reminded us exactly who we are. She addressed the full council now. Humans have always been storytellers. Before we had writing, we had oral traditions. Before we had computers, we had libraries. Before we had the stars, we had cave paintings recording our history for future generations. You can burn our books, corrupt our data, and destroy our monuments, but you cannot make humanity forget. Chen's voice grew stronger. Because we don't just record history. We live it, we teach it. We carry it in our songs, our art, our very culture. Every human child learns about the wars we fought and the peace we built. Every human remembers the journey from our cradle to the stars. She looked around the chamber one last time. The Empire tried to rewrite human history. So humanity is going to rewrite the Empire, not through conquest or domination, but by ensuring that truth once discovered can never be erased again. The vote was overwhelming. The Galactic Archives initiative was approved, with humanity as its founding coordinator. Ambassador Kelrix and 36 Velocian officials were charged with historical fraud and conspiracy. As Dr. Chen left the council chamber, she carried with her the weight of human history. All of it. The glorious and the shameful. The victories and the failures. It was a weight humanity would never let anyone else carry for them again. The Empire had learned a costly lesson. You could try to conquer humanity with weapons, with economics, or with diplomacy. But you could never conquer them by stealing their past. Because humanity would always remember, and they would make sure the galaxy remembered too.